Hi friends, how are you all? Everyone doing good? We are going on track with the syllabus. Everything is going smooth and fine. Previously we have seen Abhiras. It was just a day chapter, so I finished it off yesterday. So today we are going to look into a new dynasty, which is Vakatakas. This I am going to take a 3-day duration, and I am going to finish about the resources, the kings and their political or the important features during this Vakataka dynasty period. You see, starting from the first slide, what you are seeing, it's just nothing but like a fort, you can see, right? This is the fort. This fort is nothing but it's Nandivardhana fort. This is built by one of the Vakataka kings. We are going to look about him in our upcoming episodes. Okay, so yeah, earlier we have finished Abhiras, right? For those whoever wants the questionnaire or the bit section from me, you can post me in the comment section or you can message me. I'll be providing you with the information, right? Let's first look into the dynasty or the ruling period. See, almost around 250 years Vakatakas have been ruling, and the territory wise, what areas they have ruled, we are going to look into the resources, the territory and the kings of during that time. So let's get started. So talking about the dynasty, first let me quickly show you the dynasty. You see, this is the Vakataka Empire. You're able to see, right? This is the Vakataka Empire. It is completely covering Maharashtra, and then guys, Vidarbha is at this corner. Okay, so this is Vidarbha region. I mean, here you'll be having Vidarbha, where it is at this location you'll be having Vidarbha, and then you see here Telangana few parts, right? So Telangana few parts, Maharashtra, and then it is Vidarbha region. So this is the territory of Vakataka Empire. So what in Abhiras did we see? Abhiras was earlier ruling Maharashtra and Telangana, this 8, right? So this structure was ruled by Abhiras. So after Abhiras, it was Vakataka who have claimed their authority over these regions. Let me enlarge this and show it to you guys. Yeah, so you can see a better picture of it. I'll erase this over. So here is Vakatakas. This is Vakatakas, and then Nala dynasty. I'll talk about Nala dynasty. We have importance of Nala dynasty. Just see where Nala is. This is at this part, right? And what do we have at the top? It is Pragya, Malwa and Pataliputra, which is UP side. So what would be now the borders of Vakataka Empire? You should be visualizing this and saying. So at the top, it is going to be Bundelkhand. Bundelkhand is in UP, guys. So the border would be the north side. It is Bundelkhand. It is somewhere here, this region, okay? Bundelkhand is here, and the south side it is going to be Srisailam at this part, right? So here it is going to be Srisailam. So this becomes the border for our Vakataka dynasty. Let's come back to normal. Yeah. So guys, you see Vakataka's almost ruling period is almost about 250 years, which means that they have good importance for themselves. But despite ruling for 250 years, we don't know what their ancestors are, like who are their ancestors, where are they actually from, whether they are from north or they are from south, what area it is, we don't know. What we know is from 250 AD, whoever the kings are from that time period we know. అంటే 250 ADలో ఏ కింగ్ అయితే ఉన్నాడో అతన్నే ఫౌండర్గా డిక్లేర్ చేసేసి ఇక దాని తర్వాత ఎవరెవరైతే కింగ్స్ ఉన్నారో వాళ్ళ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ మనకుంది. దానిపైన ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ఏం లేదు. We don't know anything about their origin, right? Few people said that they are from North India and few people said that they are from South India. There is a historian, guys, his name is K.P. Jaiswal. What did he say is Vakataka belonged to Bigat, that is Bijnath of Bundelkhand. Earlier the name was Bijnath of Bundelkhand or Bigat, and before that the name was Bhagat. And what he also said is, K.P. Jaiswal, he said that Bigat only slowly it got changed to Vakataka. This is what is told by J.P. Jaiswal. And the location of Bigat, I'll show you the location of Bigat, but just remember one thing, whatever the places are during at that time, they are not exactly the same of this period. Because you see the name Bengaluru, earlier it was Bangalore, now it is Bengaluru. So the transformation is always there, right? So the same thing is also seen earlier. And see, coming down to location, it is near Orcha of MP. Let me show you this, maximizing and showing you a little here. Okay, so this becomes the Maharashtra border and this will become Madhya Pradesh border. What did I say, guys? What is the regions ruled by Vakatakas? It is Maharashtra, Telangana few regions and Vidarbha. So Madhya Pradesh will become here at this place. This is the birthplace. This is Orcha actually. Somewhere near here it is. At this point we have Bigat or Bijnath of Bundelkhand. I'll get back this to normal. And yes, we talked about the territory, right? And now we will see about the first inscription we received. This is the first inscription, Amravati pillar inscription. What is it, guys? Amravati pillar inscription is the first inscription in which we got to hear about Vakataka. Vakataka name was first found in Amravati pillar inscription. We know about Amravati stupa. So for this stupa only, Yajnashri Shatakarni, he built a boundary sort of thing to protect it, right? Likewise, we also have pillars near to Amravati. So the pillars are somewhat like this, the Amravati stupa pillars. I'll maximize this. So you see, this is the Amravati stupa pillars. So something or the other will be written in this part. So this Vakataka word was first seen in Amravati pillar inscription. Okay. Now you guys see, we have seen the birthplace of Vakatakas. What is it? It is Bijnath of Bundelkhand or Bigat. Now where is this? This is in North India. So what historians they have concluded is they are from North India. But there are few other historians like V.V. Maharshi. Their opinion is somewhat different. They say that Vakatakas are from South India. So there have been clashes that whether Vakatakas are from North or Vakatakas are from South. Now the first word Vakataka was first found in Amravati pillar inscription. As per this inscription, there is a beautiful story inscribed in it. In Amravati pillar inscription, it tells us a story that there was a man called Vakataka. He had 2 wives. Yeah? And this Vakataka, he donated something and he inscribed this inscription, meaning that he wrote this inscription and he gave the date also that it is belonging to 250 AD. Like that we saw the Vakataka word for the very first time. But few others, what did they say is the village, there is a village called Vakataka and the people in that village, they are called as Vakatakas. And this village may be somewhere in and around Amravati. That's why we found the name Vakataka in that pillar inscription, and that is a probability. They also said that, see, Vakatakas, what is their designation? We don't know, right? We know the designation of Abhiras. Abhiras have been chief army of Rudradaman period or the Shatavahana period. Now, Vakataka dynasty, we don't know. So, what these people they thought is Vakatakas might be given some job by Shatavahanas, and that's how they moved to the north side, which is Maharashtra. See, when someone gives you a job, you mean you have the source of income. When you have the source of income because of some person, the respect towards that person becomes huge. So that's why, one of the kings of Shatavahanas, he named his son name as Gautami Putra Shatakarni. Giving a son's name with some other's name, it means a lot, meaning that you're giving a huge respect to that person. So what we can say here, Vakatakas had very much respect towards Shatavahanas, and during Vakatakas only Shatavahanas were also present. So this was the story of Vakataka. Few other things which were mentioned is Pravarasena. Pravarasena's son is only Gautami Putra Shatakarni. He talked about his mother also. His mother name, he told it as Hariti. Now, Hariti, there is a story behind Hariti again. At that time, Nagarjunakonda people, they worshipped Hariti. Hariti, now who is Hariti? Is it a god or a demon or what is it? Hariti వచ్చేసి ఒక రాక్షసి. దానికి ఒక పెద్ద స్టోరీ అనమాట. ఏంటంటే హరితికి చాలా పిల్లలు, ఆ రాక్షసికి చాలా పిల్లలు ఉండేది. ఇంకా హరితి ఎగ్జిస్టెడ్ డ్యూరింగ్ ద టైమ్ ఆఫ్ గౌతమ్ బుద్ధ. అయితే హరితి వాళ్ళ పిల్లల్ని భోజనం పెట్టాలి అనేసి వేరే వాళ్ళ పిల్లల్ని తీసుకొని వచ్చి చంపి వాళ్ళ పిల్లలకి భోజనం పెట్టేదన్నమాట. ఎవరు? హరితి. అలా నడుస్తున్నాక చాలామంది పిల్లల్ని తీసుకొని విలేజ్ నుంచి తన పిల్లల్ని భోజనం పెడుతున్నప్పుడు అలా కొన్ని రోజులు గడిపేసేసరికి వాళ్ళ మమ్మీ ఉంటుంది కదా, the mothers of the children, they went to Gautam Buddha. They went to Gautam Buddha and started saying that, see, there is this devil, she is taking all our children and we are in utmost pain, please do something towards us. So what will Gautam Buddha do is, he will go and kidnap one of the youngest sons of Hariti. He will kidnap and he'll keep in his rice bowl. Yeah. Now Hariti will keep on searching, where is my son, where is my son? She'll search everywhere but nowhere he'll be seen. So finally, losing all hope, she will go to Gautam Buddha. Now once she goes to Gautam Buddha says, see, you, after losing only one son from your hundreds of sons, you are like this. What about the mothers who are having just one son? What about them? What is the grief felt by them? So listening to this, Harita makes a vow that yeah, she has done a great mistake and she will only be protecting the children. That is the vow she'll be taking. Listening to this, Gautam Buddha will give a boon. He will give a knowledge about, little bit of black magic and all, but he will give the knowledge so that she can help others. So that's why from that day onwards, Harita is worshipped as goddess. She blesses those who cares for their children and she punishes those who doesn't care their children. So that's why Harita was very, very popular during that time. And Gautam Buddha was very famously worshipped during that time, right? Likewise, Harita was also worshipped because she got knowledge from Buddha and now she has power to help those who actually need help. And Pravarasena described his mother's name as Hariti. You see this inscription, Amaravati pillar inscription, this was given by Vindhyashakti. Who it is? Vindhyashakti. This person is the founder of Vakatakas, guys. Remember that. This is very very important. Who is the founder of Vakatakas? It is Vidyashakti. What is the capital of Vakatakas? We are going to look into. What is the religion they followed during that time? Listening to Harita, what could it be? It is Buddhism only. Okay. See, with all this information, what Amravati pillar inscription, where is it? It is in Andhra Pradesh. And then the information about Hariti during that time in Nagarjunakonda, Hariti was very much worshipped by the people during that time. So this is one more information. The founder is Vidyashakti. So with all this information, what we told is during that time Vakatakas could have been from South India. This is the information we got. So we have seen Amravati Stupa pillars. This is the first inscription wherein we found the word Vakataka, and Vakataka empire also we have seen it, right? Now let's look into the hierarchy. What did I say first? Vidyashakti. Vidyashakti is the founder of Vakataka dynasty, and Pravarasena I is his son. Pravarasena I, we have seen his name in the Amravati inscription wherein he told that his mother's name is Hariti. So like that we got to know about Hariti also. Now talking about Vidyashakti, Vidyashakti did not have many titles, guys. So with this what we can say is maybe Vidyashakti is not that famous, or he did not have much visibility. That's why very little information is known from Vidyashakti period. Now talking about Pravarasena, from Amravati inscription, what did we get to know? First son is Gautamiputra Shatakarni and the youngest son is Sarvasena. In between we have two other people, guys. We don't know any information about them, so it is just left like that. But Gautamiputra Shatakarni, he did not live for much time. That's why Sarvasena, he actually took care of everything at that period. But Sarvasena, he cannot take care much for a long time, because I told you, right, it should be the crown prince. Crown prince meaning what? It should be Yuvraj who should be taking care. సో ఇప్పుడు యువరాజ్ ఎవరు? రుద్రసేన రూల్ చేయాలి. కాకపోతే సర్వసేన మళ్ళీ బాధపడతాడు కదా, అందుకని కింగ్డమ్ని డివైడ్ చేయడం జరిగింది. కింగ్డమ్ని డివైడ్ చేసినాక సర్వసేన మహారాష్ట్ర చూసుకుంటుండు, రుద్రసేన వచ్చేసి విదర్భ, విదూష ఇంకా తెలంగాణ రీజియన్స్ చూసుకుంటుండు. ఇలా డివైడ్ చేసేసినాక ఎవరి వాళ్ళు చూసుకుంటున్నారు. నౌ దిస్ రుద్రసేన, ఇతను పైన కదా, అంటే గౌతమిపుత్ర శతకర్ణి తర్వాత రుద్రసేన కదా, అందుకే ఇతనికి ఇదే బ్రాంచ్ నడుస్తుంది. కానీ ఇతనికి వచ్చేసే బ్రాంచ్ పేరు మారిపోతుంది. ఇతని బ్రాంచ్ వచ్చేసి వత్సలగుల్మ బ్రాంచ్, ఇంకా ఇతని బ్రాంచ్ వచ్చేసి శ్రురేఖ బ్రాంచ్, ఇంకా క్యాపిటల్ కూడా మారిపోతుంది. ఇప్పుడు రీజన్స్ మారిపోయినాయి అన్నాక క్యాపిటల్ మారిపోదా? ఇతనిది క్యాపిటల్ వచ్చేసి వత్సలగుల్మ క్యాపిటల్, ఇతనిది క్యాపిటల్ వచ్చేసి విదిశా నగరం. లెట్ మీ క్లియర్ దిస్ ఆఫ్. Now we understood until Rudrasena I, right? Rudrasena I. So Rudrasena I actually existed during Samudragupta period. Samudragupta, I told you, he is from which dynasty? He is from Gupta dynasty. We have talked about him in the Abhiras dynasty. Yeah, I'm not going to repeat that. Abhiras dynasty, whoever missed, they have to go back and then come to this episode. Okay, he has given one inscription. So that inscription is really really famous. It is Allahabad inscription. I am talking about the Allahabad inscription. Okay, you have to go back to Abhiras and understand what is this Allahabad inscription with respect to Abhiras. Okay, so he existed during Samudragupta period. Okay, ఇప్పుడు ఏమైందంటే సముద్రగుప్త పీరియడ్లో రుద్రసేన he fought a war with Samudragupta in which he failed. Okay, he did not win that. So after that, Prithvi Sena I took hold of it. During Prithvi Sena I, Chandragupta II was taking care, meaning that contemporary was who? It was Chandragupta II. Prithvi Sena was very strong, guys. So Chandragupta II probably got scared and he got his daughter's marriage, Prabhavati Gupta to Rudrasena II, that is the son of Prithvi Sena. వీళ్ళిద్దరికి మ్యారేజ్ చేయించేసిండు. ఎవరు? ప్రభావతి గుప్తా, రుద్రసేన టూ. కానీ రుద్రసేన టూ ఎక్కువ కాలం బతకలేదు. ఇంకా ప్రభావతి గుప్తా వచ్చేసి షీ యూస్ టు రూల్ డ్యూరింగ్ దట్ టైమ్. సో షీ స్టార్టెడ్ రూలింగ్ బికాస్ దిస్ sons also, it was very early for them to take hold of the entire kingdom. So ruling and all, it was very not so good for them. They was very small at that time. Let me erase this. So if Prabhavati Gupta is ruling, meaning that if a lady is ruling, meaning that they will have to go through a lot. ఒకవేళ హస్బెండ్ చనిపోయినా కానీ, పిల్లలు సరిగ్గా చూసుకోలేకపోయినా కానీ, పిల్లలు చనిపోయినా కానీ, it will be their responsibility, Prabhavati Gupta's responsibility. Actually she ruled for almost good amount of time, almost like 25 to 30 years she had ruled, which is not very small amount, meaning that she has seen a lot. Okay, so the damage to Prabhavati Gupta was huge. So Prabhavati Gupta had two sons, Divakara Sena, Damodara Sena or Pravara Sena. Now Divakara Sena died early. After that it was Damodara Sena. So this was the reason she ruled for almost 25 years. Rudrasena died. After that it was Damodara Sena. After Damodara Sena it was Narendra Sena. After him it is Prithvi Sena. Now we are not going to talk about Sarvasena because he was ruling Maharashtra, and this person who, it is Rudrasena who was ruling Vidusha, Vidarbha and Telangana regions. That's why we are going to see only Surika branch, not the Vatsal Gulma branch. Right? Clear? Any doubts? Once again let's see. Founder is Vindhya Shakti. Who is the son of Vindhya Shakti? It is Pravara Sena. He had the titles Pravara Samrat and Dharma Maharaj. Titles we are going to look into when we are talking about this person. Yeah, he had 4 children, Gautamiputra Shatakarni and Sarvasena is the youngest. In between 2 people we don't know. Gautamiputra Shatakarni died early, so Sarvasena was actually ruling. So after this Rudrasena grew up, it was Rudrasena who took hold of certain regions and Sarvasena who took hold of Maharashtra. What are the regions under Rudrasena? It is Vidarbha, Vidusha and Telangana regions. He was the contemporary during Samudragupta period, and he died in hands of Samudragupta during the war. And after Rudrasena it was Prithvi Sena. After Prithvi Sena, Rudrasena 2. After Rudrasena 2 it is Prabhavati Gupta. After Prabhavati Gupta it is Pravara Sena 2, then Narendra Sena, then Prithvi Sena. How to remember these names is now the question. See, looking at the hierarchy, what we are seeing is they have mostly given importance to their grandfather. You see this Pravara Sena 1 here. Here Rudrasena 1, Rudrasena 2. This Rudrasena 2 he has given importance to his grandfather. Now you see Prithvi Sena 2, considering he gave importance to his grandfather, but his grandfather already took the title of some other person. So that's why this Pravara Sena 2, he went to his grandfather. What is it? Prithvi Sena. So that's how it is Prithvi Sena 2. See, it's always like grandfather was given importance in Vakatakas. You remember like that, you will get the hierarchy. Simple. One complete hierarchy I'll show you. So this is the complete hierarchy. Okay, let me expand this. So it starts with Vindhya Shakti, then Pravara Sena. This person is the founder, Pravara Sena is the son. After Pravara Sena it was Rudrasena, because Gautamiputra Shatakarni died. From that time it became Pravarapura Nandivardhana branch. Then it is Rudrasena. After Rudrasena, who is it? It is Prithvi Sena. Then how does it go? After Prithvi Sena, who is it? It is Rudrasena 2, right? It is Rudrasena 2. Then it is Prabhavati Gupta. Then what is it? It is the son of Prabhavati Gupta, who? Divakara Sena. Then it is Damodara Sena, then Narendra Sena, Then lastly we have Prithvi Sena 2. Yep. Then talking about Vatsal Kulma branch, we did not see much about Vatsal Kulma other than Sarvasena, right? He is the fourth son of our Pravarasena. And then it is Vindyasena, then Pravarasena 2, unknown, Devasena and Harishena. So this is the complete hierarchy. Let me show you this one complete picture of it. So this is the complete picture of Vakataka dynasty. Okay, today we are going to just look into the founder of Vakatakas, which is Vindhyashakti, right? See, Vindhyashakti, he is the founder and he kept capital Vidisha Nagaram. Vidisha Nagaram we talked about. Where is this? This is in Maharashtra, and the source is the meaning that from where we got this information about Vindhyashakti is 6th inscription of Ajanta. 6th inscription of Ajanta, it says that Vindhyashakti, he belongs to Vakataka dynasty, Dvija, and his gotra is Vishnuvruta. So there are gotra for a person like Kashyap gotra, Shandilya gotra. We also have Vishnuvruta gotra. So this is the gotra of Vindhyashakti, and he was a Brahmin. And you see, I told you while talking about this dynasties, he did not have any titles. You see in this slide, he did not have any titles. With this, what we can see, maybe his kingdom was very small, and he did not perform any Ashwamedha Yagna also. So he must be reporting to Shatavahanas, because Shatavahanas, they were popular at that time, correct? So this could be a probability during that time. With this, I am ending today's chapter, guys. If you like the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, like, share and subscribe to my TSPSC preparation. Don't forget to share amongst your friends, colleagues, anyone whom you know that they would need this information, right? So with this note, I take leave of you. Good night, take care, bye bye everyone, happy reading.